You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
I'm a traveling man.
Welcome back. We're broadcasting today from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Call Extreme Exteriors at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene and Tony sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can help you achieve your financial goals. New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Call me, Tony Crockett, at New Concepts Rental Management, 952-922-2500.
Are you a member of the Community Associations Institute? For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit caionline.org to learn more. The address again is caionline.org. CAI helps community associations board members by providing online resources, in-person training, and hard copy publications written by association management experts. CAI offers community managers professional development, networking opportunities, and a certification program that is established as the industry standard nationwide. Minnesota has its own chapter of the Community Associations Institute to bring resources and tools from community associations around the country right to your home. Visit www.cai-mn.com to learn more and become a member of CAI today. Your community and management company will benefit from your involvement. Join the Community Associations Institute today at cai-mn.com and click on membership.
I want to remind our listeners we have a hotline where you can leave your comments and questions. It's 952-224-2668. We'd love to hear from you. We'd like to know if you're enjoying the program, if you have questions about anything we've discussed, or if you have suggestions for a topic. 952-224-2668.
Yes, and we also have email addresses. Go online to our website. There's so much more there at New Concepts. It's www.newconceptsgroup.com. You can pull down the section that talks about our radio show, and it has all of our contact information. So we'd love to hear from you by email as well.
Okay. We've been talking about this column in the Star Tribune where Attorney Kelly Klein is giving advice to a disabled elderly person who cannot access her apartment while elevator upgrades are being done.
And I want to just say again, too, I've seen her columns a number of times, and she has given very good advice. This particular week, though, I just think that she's given information that, to me, seems a little bit more adversarial from the get-go.
Yeah.
And I am troubled by that because we know, being in property management, that a majority of the landlords are good folks. They want to take care of the renter because they are their client, their customer.
That's right.
And having a goodwill and having good relationships is very important. And to ramp things up, to start things off by saying, well, here's what you need to do, because you need to start talking about demanding your rights, and you need to start...
Her first suggestion was file a rent escrow action to force the landlord to put you up in temporary housing. Then her second suggestion was you might also have claims under the Minnesota Human Rights Act and the Federal Fair Housing Act. So those were her first two suggestions. My first suggestion is talk to the landlord. There is a process for requesting a reasonable accommodation for your disability, and I would say talk to your landlord about going through that process. Now, he can deny it, but he's got to have good reason for denying, and it can't be a discriminatory reason for denying your request.
But it also can be because even though the landlord's providing a number of services for you, he's not providing you a guarantee with what happens in your life.
That's right. He cannot protect you from everything that might go wrong.
And I want to have you address that part just a little bit. One of the things that Ms. Klein said, she said, unfortunately, it appears that the only way for you to access your apartment is via elevator. And I want you to talk a little bit about that. This person is elderly. She's in an elevator.
She relies on
what's
this
wrong
elevator.
with that picture?
It actually harkens back to the Federal Fair Housing Act. If I were elderly and disabled, I might think twice before I rented an apartment on the 4th floor of a building with only one elevator. I think it's ridiculous that she did that. Now, perhaps she wasn't disabled when she moved in there, but you got to stop and think about your condition and take care of yourself and not expect the law, your landlord, daddy, whoever you're thinking of, to step in and fix things for you.
To bring in something else just for a moment, we have a society where people have that expectation. Let's take a look at people that go, let's say, mountain climbing, for example. I mean, how many stories have you heard over the last year? Someone is mountain climbing and they get stuck. They do something that most people would not do because it's a little out of their comfort zone.
Yeah,
it's
a little.
It's dangerous. But when something happens, all of a sudden, other entities, other organizations need to spring into action and save them.
That's right. If they get stranded or hurt
And I'm glad we have people to do that. But
that's right.
But for someone to expect that to happen,
and
expect that should be on someone else's dime.
Usually, the victim is required to pay for those services. To pay the county. That's often the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
When you get stranded in the mountains doing something you chose to do, I'd say almost every time I've heard about it, the county or the state, whomever spent all these resources in saving you, you have to reimburse them for that.
Okay.
Which I think is reasonable.
Well, I do too. That's a piece I did not know.
Yeah.
But that brings up another question when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars for a rescue. I don't know that those people necessarily have it to pay either.
Okay, but that's not really the issue we're talking about. We're talking about what's the right thing to do and what's the legal thing to do.
Yeah.
Now, as a landlord, if I was showing this woman apartments and I could see that she was using a walker and that she was disabled, by Federal Fair Housing and Minnesota Human Rights Act, I cannot steer her to the first floor. That's wrong.
Oh,
that's discriminatory. That's insensitive. That's not giving her every option to do what she wants. So I can't say, lady, you got a walker. We've got one elevator in this building. You should live on the first floor. I could get my ass kicked for that. Pardon my French. So instead, she gets to choose where she wants to live, and she chooses the 4th floor. Now she's complaining and says, I owe her something because I have to do state mandated elevator. Where is the sense in this?
There is no common sense in that. It seems to me that we've just gone too far. The pendulum swung too far in one direction.
Yeah.
We're hypersensitive to be able to, as you say, have the ability to, in a common sense, matter of fact way, say, have you thought through this? Would this be the best for you to live on the 4th floor if, for example, something happens and the electricity's out? It may not even be an issue with the landlord. We have power outages all the time.
Well, in this
city.
case, it wasn't the landlord either. It was a state mandate. It's
very good.
It's
point.
crazy. I would suggest to landlords that you be sure you include a clause in your lease that talks about this circumstance, that you cannot provide housing should the apartment become unlivable or damaged or inaccessible.
So
spell it out.
So
I think that's
something
additional
that can
protection.
That can be additional language that can be added to the lease.
And and who knows if it would. If you might still get sued over the issue, but at least you have that talking point when you're leasing the apartment. And I talk to people about that. I say, this means should the roof blow off and a tornado come through here, I cannot provide you with other housing.
And that's what we're talking about all the time on this show, whether it's dealing with a rental or with a homeowners association. We are going under the assumption, or we think we are, that we're dealing with two separate adults,
sober,
sane, and in the right mind, and they are understanding what they are contractually obligated to.
That's right. For the renter, I'd say absolutely get renter's insurance and ask this question: can you get some coverage that would provide housing for you, provide additional rent money or money for a hotel should something like this happen. Yeah. Why not insure yourself?
And the last piece here, we've only got a minute here before we have to go to break again, but speak a little bit about, you had a comment about Ms. Pt.2, the fact that she may have been speaking outside of her area of expertise.
Right. Well, you actually did a little research on it, and she's an attorney in the Twin Cities. She has her own practice, I believe, but her expertise is the healthcare industry. That's the number one thing on her website that she deals with is health insurance and healthcare issues. So I'm not sure why she's answering or writing a column about rentals.
Well, hey, we need to take a break right now. Let's do that. Folks, don't go away. There's so much more of Where You Live with Gene and Tony after these messages.